The Mach-E is so much fun to drive. And when you're flooring it, it really just puts a damn smile on my face. How's it going, y'all? It is Ben Aqua, like the color, and it is a super exciting day today because I'm going to be testing out the 2021 Ford Mustang Mach-E Select. This is a really beautiful vehicle, and in this video I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons, kind of my whole driving experience, comparing it to the Tesla Model Y as well. So smash the like button and subscribe down below, and let's check out the Mustang Mach-E Select. I like these kind of interesting door handle slash button things, and each door actually has this little button here, and the only handle really to get into the car is really on the front. You press this button, then you pull that open using that little tab. Then in the back seat, it's kind of cool, you just press this button, then you pull the door open. Kind of interesting that there's no actual like handles down here like in a more traditional car. So let's open up the front here. There's also, you can see these numbers right there. These numbers are actually a keypad entry thing, so you can lock the door with a keypad. And yeah, this is the interior of the Mustang Mach-E, and this is of course an all black edition of the Select 2021 model. There's an actual power button here. Press that to power it on. Lots of beeps in this car, that's for sure. There is this massive display over here with a physical volume knob right there, as well as a smaller display over here which tells you your miles per hour readout and cars that are near you and what your range is. And then we have a pretty standard steering wheel with the Mustang branding, and they really pump the branding a lot on this because the Mustang is such an iconic car for Ford. And I have to say, it's actually a really nice feeling car. Like a lot of these kind of fake leather textures and stuff, you know, there's a little bit of padding here. Like the textures and everything in here feels really nice overall, though there are a few just like pieces of plastic that feel a little bit kind of dingy, honestly, and I'm wondering why they didn't go a little more premium with some of the materials in here. But overall, I actually really like the design, and this is coming from me who drives a 2021 Tesla Model Y long range. That car is amazing. It has a bigger range, actually. It gets about 318 to 330 per charge, where the Ford Mustang, I believe, gets about 240. And this is the Select edition of the Mustang Mach-E, so this isn't the top trim. So let's talk about the screen, because this is a really beautiful display. Like the resolution on it and the colors and stuff are really nice, and that goes the same for this small screen as well. Everything is really big. I like that it integrates with CarPlay, and yeah, it looks really beautiful. However, the interface for me leaves a little to be desired. Like it's a little bit slow, it's a little bit laggy, and it's kind of limited too. Like there's these weird design choices. For example, this, so you know, you're looking at the road and you're trying to back up or something. Why is your backup camera all the way down here? Like you can see how far down that is, where you have to look there. You're like, why isn't this actually up here where it kind of aligns with, you know, the space above your eyes and stuff? The interface overall, to me, it looks kind of like a MySpace profile from like the early 2000s, in that it looks kind of dated. Like some of these UI modes, like it reminds me of the RAV4 hybrid that I had up until recently when I got the Tesla. Like these kinds of buttons and stuff, it just looks kind of basic. It's not the fastest thing in the world either. Like you can see there's a little bit of lag when you're pressing any one of these buttons. You have to wait like a second or two for the stuff to show up. When I get back into the Tesla, I realized that the screen is so much faster. It's so much more snappy. But one thing I really love about the screen is it has a massive CarPlay display. It has really nice resolution. You get a giant map. It's just a really nice CarPlay experience overall. But the biggest con about this design, in my opinion, is this big button right here, which is actually a volume knob. It's not a button. It's a big volume knob, and oh my gosh, why is there a volume knob in a beautiful screen? This knob feels extremely unnecessary. Why didn't they just take that away? Then you could like swipe up to do your volume or something. But I'd like that there is some type of continuity when it comes to the overall design. Like this kind of aesthetic of this button is the same as this knob over here, which you use to go into reverse, neutral, and drive. And I must say that the materials overall feel a lot better than the Tesla. Tesla is kind of known for having cheap materials, which is kind of strange because the Tesla is actually a lot more expensive than this Mach-E, where the Tesla I got for about $61,000, and this one is on sale at CarMax right now for $56,000 for a used model. It has about 4,000 miles on it. This is not a sponsored video or anything. I'm just test driving this Mach-E for fun, but it just feels a little more dated in these kinds of designs. Like it just feels more like a kind of traditional normal car or whatever. Like there's little things like the home link button here. At least it has this, where Tesla makes you pay $350 for it, but at least there's a home link thing built in. But this button just looks so cheap and kind of just boring, you know? It looks very dated to me. But I like the stitching kind of things. Like I can tell that Ford kind of went in on the design to try to find some ways to make it, you know, kind of interesting. This is also a really weird design decision. Like, why is this parking brake button so big? Why are there buttons even down here? It just feels like wasted space. This could have been more drink holders or, you know, like more storage or something. Who designed this? I don't know, but I do like the wireless CarPlay as well as the wireless chargers down here for your phones. One thing I also like about the Mach-E is the charging port is towards the front of the vehicle, so you don't have to back into a charger when you're ready to charge. You just pop it open there, and you can see it has a standard charger here. It even has a DC fast charging thingamabob there. And I like that when you plug in a charger, it actually will tell you, this little indicator will tell you how much charge you have left, and then it'll kind of blink on where it's charging to. I also like that there is this power lift gate that when you kick under there, it'll lift up. The Tesla does not have that. I wish it did. And it has a pretty good amount of cargo space back here. The Tesla has more for sure, but this is a pretty good amount of space, as well as this under thing here where you have some extra storage down there. This is definitely kind of awkward taking this up and down, but it is a power lift gate as well. So there's this button here and you can push that to let it down. So now let's check out the frunk, which is released by pulling in. And I do like that there actually is a frunk. Ooh, that's heavy. But yeah, check out the frunk here. Pretty good amount of space here. Plastic on the sides. Feels a little cheaper, weirdly, like the kind of material they used here. The design is kind of interesting in the Mach-E too, because it looks like a smaller car than the Tesla. It feels like you're kind of cramped in a little bit more, even though I'm higher off the ground feeling, which feels nice. The Mach-E is so much fun to drive. I mean, electric cars in general are so much fun to drive. They're just really quiet and just so much fun. The technology is really interesting in these. It feels very futuristic, forward thinking, and you're putting less strain on the environment when it comes to your fuel emissions, and there's zero emissions in electric vehicles. So there's definitely that plus. But when you're flooring this thing, I mean, I laugh every single time because it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The Tesla is like that. The VW ID4 is like that, not as much as the Tesla. So when it comes to the sounds that this car makes, like road noise and that kind of stuff, it does feel a little bit slightly quieter than the Tesla Model Y, which is kind of surprising because the Tesla is like super quiet, I thought. And then I get into this car, I'm like, oh damn, this is even more quiet than the Tesla Model Y. And this car is actually a little bit higher off the ground. It has bigger tires, I believe, as well. It just feels a little more floaty. And that's kind of one of the biggest cons, I think, of the Tesla Model Y for me, is it's really a sturdy ride. Like, it feels very solid to the ground and that kind of stuff. But when it comes to the overall like bumpiness and stuff, the Tesla, I think, is actually quite bumpy, and you feel like every little imperfection in the road. But the Mach-E, when you get in and you sit in this thing and you take off, it feels quieter. It feels definitely smoother, but it's also a sports car type of ride, right? Like, it's a Mustang, which is known for speed and power. It doesn't look like a normal Mustang, and it's electric, and you don't hear any of the noises. It's kind of hilarious because you can even make like a fake propulsion sound. Let's actually turn that on. See if I put a little pedal to the metal here. Yeah, it makes like a fake propulsion noise. That's interesting. It actually sounds kind of like a traditional engine, like a traditional gas-powered ICE. There's plenty of zip in the Mach-E, almost as much as my Tesla Model Y. And when you're flooring it, it really just puts a damn smile on my face. Like, I just want to laugh out loud every single time. I also find the 3 drive modes here, Whisper, Engage, and Unbridled, to be hilarious. I think the 0 to 60 in this one, the Select trim, is 5.2 seconds, I believe, or 5.8. And I like this little display here that you can easily see right in front of you. You barely have to take your eyes off of the road to see how fast you're going and how much range you have and that kind of thing. The turning is so nice on this car as well, just like changing lanes and doing U-turns. Like, I can definitely see why this car is a huge threat to the Tesla. It's definitely a different type of experience, you know, not as minimal and that kind of thing. But in terms of just the driving experience alone, it's a lot better than the Tesla, and it's built a lot better than the Tesla too. And it's really weird because I feel like I'm cheating on the Tesla Model Y right now. And when I got back into my Tesla Model Y after driving the Mustang for a little while, I was like, oh damn, the Tesla actually feels kind of cheap on the interior. That's one of the biggest downfalls of Tesla, and they get knocked so much. Oh, check out this green Tesla, by the way. Check that out. That's freaking beautiful and interesting. It's kind of like a matte green. And that's kind of what I'm seeing overall between these two cars, is I think these two cars are definitely for two different types of people. Maybe, you know, there's probably some gray area, but the Tesla seems much more about like minimalism and, you know, just getting the car out of the way so you can just focus on your drive. The Mustang has, you know, a lot more of a traditional type of look and feel. And maybe it's a car for people that are wanting to get into something electric, but they don't necessarily want to shell out as much cash as the Tesla, because this is a little bit cheaper than the Tesla Model Y. But the seats are not the most comfortable things in the world, although they are put together really, really well. The Tesla seats are a little more cushy to me, and they just feel a little more comfortable. And it's not an uncomfortable ride, but I can't really see myself doing like a long road trip in this Mustang Mach-E, where with something like the Tesla, I can see myself doing a road trip on that one because it gets much more range, almost 100 miles more than the Mach-E Select, and the seats are more comfortable. But just driving around, you know, after about a couple hours, this thing just feels absolutely buttery and beautiful to drive. You do feel a little bit of the bumps, but it's so much less bumpy than the Tesla Model Y. So yeah, if I had the shell of the Tesla Model Y, like the general aesthetic, the one screen thing, the technology of the Tesla Model Y, with the driving experience of this Mach-E, the kind of cloud-like feel and just how easy it is to drive this thing, that would be like the ultimate car for me. The Tesla Model Y aesthetic with the drive experience of the Mach-E. The Mach-E is definitely a fun ride, but the Tesla Model Y feels a little more futuristic. It feels more powerful. It's got a little more acceleration, noticeably faster, but you get plenty of power on the Mach-E as well. It's just a little bit less power, and you have to push the acceleration a little harder than on the Tesla. But I think the Tesla overall actually still wins for me when it comes to the aesthetics and the minimalism and the performance. There's a lot that the Tesla has that the Mach-E does not have, and it kind of goes both ways. Like honestly, either one of these cars is a really enjoyable, really beautiful ride. I think it more depends on what type of ride you want. Like if you want a bumpier ride for whatever reason, if you want to feel more of the road, get the Tesla Model Y. If you want a cushier ride, if you want plenty of performance and a beautiful interior, beautiful exterior, the Mach-E is absolutely stunning. It's a stunner for sure. And when it comes to range though, the Mach-E is not as good as the Tesla. Efficiency, the Tesla seems a little bit better. But if I was working at Tesla and I saw the Mach-E, I'd be like, okay, we might be in trouble a little bit here. We need to step our game up a little bit with the Model Y. But Tesla doesn't seem to be hurting at all. Even just in the amount of time you've been watching this video, they probably made like $1 million. So anyway, that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful for you. Please smash the like button and subscribe below. And also add me on social media at B3NAQUA. That's my Twitter and that's my Instagram. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.